Okay, hello, I am Curse1701. This is going to be my Hotline Miami New Game Plus any percent submission for summer games done quick. So I'm going to start with why this should be. I think this should be shown at Games Done Quick. So Hotline Miami has been shown twice at Games Done Quick before. We've seen the first game, all levels, which is kind of the normal category you play for everything, and we've seen Hotline Miami 2. The thing about this category is it's a lot faster because we make use of skips and menuing, which means it's a much more fast-paced category. It's more entertaining to watch because we just skip cutscenes that are unnecessary. I'm going to be kind of explaining a few things as I go, but like, it's very intense at the start of the run, and it kind of gets like there's more time for donations and stuff towards the end of the run. I am going to get going and see where I end up. My splits are just here as a comparison. So yeah. The first thing to explain is we're playing as Jacket, and we have a lot of masks to pick through because this is New Game Plus, so we have every mask available to us already. The key bit of that is, of course, this Brandon, this mask we're using. Brandon moves, it's either 30 or 33% faster than the standard mask, who's Richard. Now, in itself, that's not kind of amazing. I mean, yeah, 30% faster, obviously you're saving time, but we have to menu to the mask every level, which kind of sucks. The real time save of using this mask is the fact that you can reach some slightly earlier cycles because you move faster and you can run up to people more. Like, so no one in the first level has guns because it's kind of a tutorial, but like here there's gonna be people with guns and we can run up to them from further away without them seeing us because they have a reaction time. Now, something that I should explain is there's different AI types and they respond to gunfire differently. So that level can be very tricky because the guy who you kill second last sometimes just doesn't hear you for some reason. So this is the most I messed up. That's fine. This is the most difficult level in the first chapter because like the first two levels really are tutorials. There's no... Can I pick that up? Okay, no. That's fine. Or it's not fine. Yeah, the first two levels are really just, this is Hotline Miami, this is how to play the game. Whereas this level is kind of like, there's people moving around, there's actual cycles. Now it would be, the level after this, a level called Decadence, would be the most difficult level in this category. But we're going to move through it in a slightly unintended way. So, something I should explain, there's a mechanic that the game doesn't teach you, which is, if you run up to someone and press space, you do what's called a standing execution or a throat slit. Now the hitbox for that isn't great, so you can hit through walls with it, and that's level. Which is quite nice. Now I've said Brandon is the fastest mask, and that is completely true, but I choose to use Tony here, because in all levels, like, you can't change masks because you'll lose time for doing it, whereas in this you can, and because Hotline Miami has been speedrun for like a few years now, there will be a Brandon and a Tony strategy for like every level, meaning you can kind of pick and mix your strategies a little bit to get a good mix of what kind of works for you. So I mean, okay, I need to talk about cycles now. So I kind of said, yeah, there's some cycles here and there, but this next level, it's actually quite important. So the cycle starts as soon as you can see the mask selection screen. So it starts like now, which means we lose time on the cycle just by picking this mask. Now, for most levels, that kind of means you play it a little bit differently, but for this level, we actually have to go for a different cycle, which I luckily got. That cycle is quite... So I did all the hard bit and then failed at the easy bit. You can see, like, I'm taking these rooms differently, everyone's in different places. You actually end up being early on the cycle, which is quite funny to me. Now, something I should actually explain about guns, because it's going to be more relevant for the next level. Guns have a 90% chance to kill. Which means, so both you and enemies have a 10% chance to survive any given bullet. Now for this next level we are only given guns to work with. So, lovely RNG. It doesn't affect the strategy that you do that much, but it means you can just lose a bit of time beyond your control. Another mechanic the game doesn't teach you is you can use hostages with certain weapons. Oh, so that... I throw the assault rifle there as a backup strategy, but yeah, if you can get them all in one sweep, it's quite nice. And that's clean hit. Now we're coming up to a very difficult skip in the game. I say difficult because it's very difficult to do effectively. It saves about 15 seconds, so depending on where you mess up, the intended strategy will be faster than doing the skip. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's important to show off. So something I'll try to show here. There's an invisible wall here. I was holding left, but you just can't get through it. Because I guess the game purpose didn't want you just walking out. So we need to get through this wall because for various reasons you lose all collision whilst you do an execution. And that's why we need two people, because we need one to get outside and then one to get into the car. Now this is Biker. So much to say about him, other than the fact that we need to remember him for later. Now this fight is semi-controlled, like he responds to your motions and keeps this kind of set distance. You can mess up. So getting him stuck in the door is intended by me, but not by the devs, because it means you can just kind of relax a little more. You can die to that knife, but it's not a risk. And example of game being good there, you just duplicate that weapon. But that's neighbours for you. This might gold, I'm not sure. I think that's a gold. Nice! So push it, I'm going to talk about the history of the level because the skip's not very interesting. So, we didn't used to skip this level, and someone commented on a YouTube video of one of the speedruns saying, you guys should skip this level, why don't you? Is it like a rule change or something? So we of course said, you know, you can't skip that level, it's impossible. But thanks to some random guy on YouTube, we know that you can in fact skip it with the method he gave us, which is quite funny. And it turns out we were trying the wrong side of the car. Like if you try the side of the car closest, I was trying to do a strategy then, that didn't work. If you try to get, on some levels that we skip, it turns out you need to go on the far side. Not much in this game makes sense, but yeah. So, that guy, those guys are RNG, so you really have to play that room like as it comes to you. There's no kind of because there's so many patterns you could get, there's no like list of every backup strategy you'd need to learn. Now, we need to kill 10 people here. There we go. So obviously we want to finish near the end to reduce time lost from walking around. What level's next? Oh yeah. Level after this is very difficult, so I'm going to try to just focus on it. But I should explain, I'm going to take what's known as the death cycle, because basically because we have to select masks and the cycle has already started, I personally find it easy to just take a quick death there, because it resets the cycles. I think a guy there survived a bullet, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, he's got a knife. Knife isn't required, but it means the rooms after this get a bit easier, because you can play them a little quicker. Weapon management starts to become quite important here. I just missed that guy. This room has a lot of ways it can go wrong. I'd almost say that, like, there's more... I don't like this at all. It'll be that guy up there, yeah. It's normally that guy or that guy in the top left room who survive, if anyone's going to survive that. And that's why I'd like to have a knife there. We're coming up to the fastest and easiest skip in the game. There's not much to say about it, to be honest. It's just... like... you can mess up here and lose a little bit of time, but it's so much faster than doing the level, and... that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Easy. 8 seconds skip, give or take. Now, this is a fun chapter for me, because 3 of the... so from my splits, there's 5 parts, each part is 4 levels, and in this part, 3 of the 4 levels we have tech to go faster for. So after this level ends, because the category is about reaching the end level trigger, we need to wait for the save icon to appear in the bottom right hand corner after this level's done to show that we've actually completed the level. But having done that, we can crash the game as soon as we see it, because the cutscene after it is so long, so it's faster to crash the game and reboot than it is to watch the cutscene. Even if you're using a hard disk drive as opposed to a solid state drive. Assault has a lot of ways it can go wrong casually, and we found a skip for it, and it still has an awful lot of ways it can go wrong. It's always just a mess of RNG, but I'm going to try to get through it as efficiently as I can. I think this is good. Yeah, this is a good skip. So it's like Neighbours again, we need one person to get us out, and one person to get us into the car. So to make sure he's seen the other weapon, and then we can just get through this level, nice and easy. So I punched him a little bit too far there, and again, this is, it was going so well. There we go. Little back up, but Like, you could lose minutes to that in a no reset environment, so it's pretty clean. Now this is the last bit of tech for this chapter. It's another RNG based skip because so that guy can have one of two weapons. He can have a gun or he can have a melee weapon. And he has a different reaction time depending on which weapon he has, and you don't know what weapon he has until, well, they see you. So you kind of have to guess whether he's going to have a melee or a gun and stand in a different position. This is the end of the main story coming up now. I say main story because we have more levels to go, but it's just this is just a simple puzzle. You have to figure out what the game wants you to do and then just do it. You can lose time here, but it's the same thing every time. There's negligible RNG here. So that bullet he shoots there, that actually can kill you, but you can survive it too. It's kind of quite funny. Now, in Hotline tradition, we choose to not see whatever just happened there. Now this is just a long, drawn-out cutscene, nice little break in the run, and then we can start part 5. Cool. So, like I said earlier, you should pay attention to that biker guy. This is why. We are now biker. Things to note. We move 15% faster than the standard mask. We only have melee weapons, but we have 3 ranged weapons. And we can't pick up weapons, which means the RNG for these biker levels gets kind of reduced a bit because we don't have to worry about getting good weapons. There's no real different strategies here. Because there's no different masks. It's just like every runner pretty much uses the same strategies. Just world record holders will do it a bit faster because there's a few bits that you can kind of play a little riskier. Well, that's a bad start. I might, yeah. So, I might have to reset this again because... So those 3 people I just killed there, their positions are RNG based, which means sometimes you can get patterns that make you die. I should have practiced this though. Nice little that you can just about kill that guy in through that gap there. Now, where is he? There we go. So that is the last difficult part in the game, because there are 2 levels left, but they are just wrapping up the story, or what little remains of the story in this category. Oop. And this is the last bit of tech in the run. It's another very simple one that works because when you do executions, the game, instead of just moving your character around, oh, I forgot to right click there, that was bad. But yeah, the game destroys your character model and just creates a new one, which means during executions you lose collision. Which means we can just do this. I think I've messed it up. Yeah, that's... Oh, wow. I'm surprised I made it. That knife went through that guy. I sweat. But yeah, because this category is about reaching the end level trigger, and we haven't done that yet, we can't menu here, but it's only like seconds faster. If that. Time comes up when we next reach the bike. You ask these guys some questions, they don't actually give any answers at all. They just kind of annoy you. You could kill them, but that would be slow. Okay, so that's an 1853. I haven't run this game for like a few weeks now, so that was a proper no reset run. What else to say? I'm going to submit New Game and New Game Plus any %. I am more confident with New Game Plus. I've put more time into it. And yeah, thank you for watching my submission video.